guys, Matt Science here, and today I am back for day number 16 of r/NuclearRevenge. This is a continuation of episode 15, where we have some update stuff here. We have some updates that I need to check in on. So I'll just open these up. Oh my god. Okay, here we go. So we got an update on this story. Okay, so since none of the other relationship... Oh, this is... Wait, where was this? An account posted a new top... Oh, this is on... We've gone from NuclearRevenge to this guy's, like, user account. What the actual fuck? This is wild. There are two key events that happened over the course of the last 2 weeks that I want to highlight before the meeting with my STBXW and her lawyer. Original post can be read here, and also in the iCard there will be... for the first time ever, I might need to put an iCard saying link to the last episode. Because, holy short, this is just getting out of hand. Christmas Day was the first full day I spent in my new apartment. It's still a work in progress, as I have more stuff I want to get, but overall I've made it my home, and since I'm going to be here for 2 years, at least, and my boys and the eldest, GF, came over and spent a good portion of the day with me. The girlfriend brought over a treat she made, and also whipped up a very nice meal. I got to sit and talk with my sons in a way I hadn't done in a really long time, and it was nice. My big sis also came over with more goodies, and hung out with us also. It being the first time she's seen her nephews in nearly a year. Having all of them around did me some real good. As if I were myself, I think I would just drink myself into a stupor. Everyone cleared out around 8ish, and I decided I wanted to hang out with Joey and his wife Claudia. Hung out with them for a couple of hours, had a couple of drinks, and then went back home. The next big development happened last week, close to the end of the year. Around midday, I get a text from Nina asking if I was busy that night. I, of course, wasn't, so we agreed to meet up after I got off work. She shows up and we go to a diner not far from where I work. Here in New York City, we're doing indoor dining at 25% capacity thanks to the Rona, but there's mostly no trouble getting seats because so many of us opt to dine out as much these days regardless. So after we're seated and order of our food, Nina pretty much lays all of her cards on the table, and honestly, I knew this was coming. She basically confessed that she liked me all the way back since we were teenagers, but never got the chance to tell me since Sue swooped in and scooped me up before she could. For context, I've known Nina longer than Sue by 2 years. As I mentioned, she's the fourth point of my social square of myself, Oz, and Joey. We were the social outcasts in high school, the raver kids who didn't fit into the other cliches. Back then, Nina had a weight problem and was diabetic. She was the heavy-set goth chick who was super cool, but no guy would ever give a second glance at. But we always had chemistry. These days, Nina is a personal trainer and a yoga instructor. She was the ugly duckling who grew into one hell of a beautiful swan, if I must say. Long story short, we decided upon the finalization of my divorce, we are going to start seeing each other. And yeah, I slept with her that night. Took her back to my new pad, and we had a grand old time. Am I ashamed of sleeping with her? Hell no. Nina's been a lot better friend to me than Sue ever was. And she's not saying Sue wasn't my best friend. But through the near quarter of a century I've known Nina, she's always supported me. So even so much as I learnt that day, willingly taking a step back from her own feelings to allow me to pursue and eventually start a life with Sue. That resonated with me on a level I didn't think it would. That kind of selflessness towards another person is the definition of real love. I know it sounds like I'm just trying to justify in my head that sleeping with her was the right decision. And to me it was, and I plan on exploring what's to come with Nina and I with total commitment. Okay, on to yesterday, the day I met my wife and my lawyer to discuss the divorce. It's now been 2 weeks since I ghosted my STBXW. This past Monday, I got a phone call from my staking? That Sue's attorney has scheduled a meeting for us to discuss the terms of divorce on the 1st of June 2021. Or no, that's the 6th of January, which was yesterday. I met with him the day Tuesday morning to discuss the terms I'm wanting. Long story short, uncontested divorce under the grounds of marital neglect from Sue. My terms are full division of assets and me selling my half of the house ownership to her. She can have it. We keep our respective vehicles. I keep my cabin in the Pinocchos. And under the pretenses of marital neglect, she gets no spousal support from me. As for 17, what I'll refer to my son as from here on, he's free to choose who he wants to reside with following the divorce, which will most likely be me. So Wednesday comes and I show up to my lawyer's office dressed in my Johnny Cash best. My wife and her lawyer, she looks like short, barely holding it together. I give the stone face. I won't bore you with the lawyer babble, but her lawyer presented an offer for the terms of reconciliation. I shot them down almost as soon as she finished listing the details of the request. Like I said, I'll spare you the details of the meeting. Long story short, we agreed to a legal separation, leading to a uncontested divorce. The only revision is that I'll pay her $653 a month of temporary spousal support to cover the cost of utilities until she's gainfully employed again. Yep, she got fired for forking POS. He got canned as well. Up to a year after the finalization. I make enough that it won't hurt me financially, even if she drags her feet finding a new job. She's got enough in her savings to live off of for quite some time. Once a full calendar year has passed after the finalization date of the divorce has passed, she's on her own. Small price to pay for being rid of her cheating ass. I'll take roughly 3 months for things to go through. So early April, if there's no cock-ups, I'll be free of her. So after the meeting, my lawyer gives me some final words before telling he'll be in touch to update me on the progress of the filing. Back out on the street, Sue chases me down and asks if we can talk. I figured I'd give her at least that. I held it together fairly well in the meeting, but outside let the waterworks flow, saying how sorry she was. She never meant it to go as far as she did. She says she never expected to fall in love with POS, but knew when she thought I was cheating how wrong it was to betray her own husband in such a way. She asked, could I ever find it in my heart to forgive me, and maybe in a few years we could try to start over. She can't imagine what her life is going to be without me. I tell her to start imagining it soon, because it'll be the last time I ever speak to her. I tell her that 17 is almost a man, old enough to make his own choices as to his own future. I say that I give her my half and every ounce of love I had unconditionally, and she, in her own words, fell in love with another man. That there is absolutely no chance of me ever forgiving her. That all of the love I had for her was slowly killed all of these months that she confided and professed her love to POS, rather than coming to me and telling me she had any form of issue with how things were going with us. I told her I loved who she once was, but I hate who stands before me, and that if I ever see her again, it'd be too soon. Here we are on the sidewalk in Midtown Manhattan, her making a scene, crying her eyes out. A couple folk walk by and give side glances, but at that point I didn't care. I wasn't about to publicly humiliate her. I pretty much already socially and professionally destroyed her. But I needed to get the last bit of emotion I had for her out. I finished by telling her I didn't regret the 23 years I spent being her husband. I regretted that in 23 years she decided the easy way out was the better option, and that I have your lovely sons of beaches on Reddit to thank for this one, because it popped in my head just seconds before I said it. For 23 years, I thought she was mine, but it turned out it was just my turn. Put it in my Raycons, turn around, and walk the fuck away. Later that night, her father calls me and apologizes. He praises me for always being a good man to his daughter, and tells me he's ashamed of her and that he raised her better than what she did. Not gonna lie, I'm gonna miss the old man. My dad died years ago, so she's always been my default father figure since. But I can't see myself maintaining a relationship with anyone on her side of the family. After that call, I went on Facebook and symbolically changed my relationship status to divorced. Yeah, it's not final yet, but in my eyes, it's over and done. Like I said, when I make a Facebook post, it's an event. So plenty of folks started hitting me up over Messenger, asking questions, and I laid it all out that I filed for divorce with Sue earlier in the day. Of course, Nia told me, shocked that I pulled the trigger so fast. Obviously, I was already in the process of it when we spoke, but she had no idea of knowing how far it was along. I asked her if she could come over, and of course she comes running. We knocked boots again, but this time she stayed the night. We laid in my bed and talked into the wee hours of the morning, and I hadn't felt this level of relief and connection in a really long time. Nina gets me, and I can't get enough of being around her. Since the day she confided in me, she's all that's been on my mind. Yeah, I know some folk are going to say it's forked up I'm moving on so fast, but as far as I'm concerned, my marriage ended the day POS let Sue touches Pecker. So, I'm about due. So yeah, that's it. And that's the end. My divorce is in the works, and I'm moving on to start a relationship with Nina. I know in a comment response to someone I said I'd probably not marry ever again, but that was before Nina came clean to me about how she felt towards me, and I can't deny I feel the same. We're going to take it slow. We're not announcing anything until the divorce with Sue is legal and official. As for Sue, I could give a flying fork what happens to her. She could move POS into her own old home for all I care. I'll be getting my money for the house over the course of 2021, for quarterly state installments, and aside from the $653 I will pay out directly to her savings account monthly, I never have to see or speak to her again. To all the words of support, encouragement, and praise, I eternally thank you all. And yet, there's still more. Okay, it's not that long. The hits just keep on coming. I should read the title. STBXW of 23 years just tried to kill herself last night. I was out of the way too cheery for that. The hits just keep on coming. I've been sitting in this for a few hours now. I didn't know where to post this, so this sub seems appropriate. So if you want a bit of backstory, check my post history for the details. I'm not keen on linking to other subs here works, but my previous two entries are viewable in my profile. The quick version is this. I discovered my wife of 23 years, yada yada yada. Over the next 4 days, her life completely imploded. Her family pretty much excommunicated her. Her friends, the ones who didn't know of the affair, ostracized, and my own mother took her to task, calling her the most scathing and vile things you could possibly think of. Her and her lover were also placed on administrative leave and eventually fired. Last week we had a divorce hearing and settled on a legal separation into uncontested divorce with a few provisions in place for transitional income. Since she's now unemployed, I'm to pay out the utilities, $653 a month, until she either finds a gainful employment or upwards to 1 year after the date of the divorce's finalization, which is expected to be 3 months from now. She keeps the house, the car, and her half of the shared assets. I keep my half of the assets, my vehicles, car, motorcycle, boat, and my vacation property, cabin in the Bonocos. After the hearing, we had one final exchange where she tried to explain away her infidelity and begged me to give her a second chance after the divorce finalized. I, of course, said no, gave her some choice words, and walked away from her forever. This brings us to last night. As only my two closest friends, 2 sons, older sister, and mother have my new contact info, I've completely blocked my STBXW on all social outlets. She has no means of reaching me since I left her Xmas Eve, but some of our mutual friends still do. Last night I'm hanging out in my apartment and I get a voice call notification on Messenger from one of her said friends. One of the few who hadn't abandoned her following me outing her affair. She didn't... wait. My brain just shut off for a moment there. She didn't waste any time when I answered, and said she had went to check on Sue, the STBXW, and found her passed out in the bedroom, foaming out of the mouth, found with 2 bottles of empty pills next to her. She's in the ICU in critical but stable condition. The doctor said that she'll likely pull through. She's clearly not going to be well after. She begged and pleaded for me to come. Her parents of 2 and 2 of her sisters were also there at the hospital. My guess is they were notified after the hospital attempted to notify me, but Sue would still have my own old number as her emergency contact. I simply told her no. Sue isn't my problem anymore, and she clearly decided she wanted to take the easy way out rather than deal with the shame and agony of the 23-year marriage she blew up. I then told her friend if Sue's family were there, they can help her sort out the pieces, but as far as Sue and I are concerned, there is no Sue and I anymore. Then I ended the call. I had a few hours to sleep on it, and my sons called me this morning asking if I knew. I told them yes, but I also told both of them no if they wanted to be there in support of their mother, I will not hold it against them or judge them for it. She is their mother after all. But I myself washed my hands off her and cared little to nothing about what she does for or to herself. They were both a little taken aback by this, but respected my stance. However, now that the news has broke about her suicide attempt, many of those friends who dropped her are all starting to surface again and saying I need to be there for her. That even despite what she did to me, I need to support her in her time of need. I've also been informed that her AP tried to visit her this morning, but wasn't allowed because she's not family. I'm getting dogpiled on to go see her, but I feel nothing for this woman anymore. I haven't for a very long time. I checked out during the process of getting my payback for her betrayal, and I stand by the fact that I don't care at all for what she's done. In fact, it makes me hate her even more. She's the one who was unfaithful. She's the one who, though a year long, she's the one who, though the year-long fling with a guy 5 years older than her older son, was worth the ring 23 years. And now that she has to face the consequences of her choices, She chooses the most selfish way to deal with it. Even now, seeing as she's in all likelihood going to survive, she cultivated immediate sympathy from everyone who took her to task, and I'm being made out to look like the jaded ex-husband, I'm willing to sympathize for her by her most her family, not her dad. He reached out to me over the last few hours and said he respects my decision to stay away. Awesome dad, right there. It's like I never even truly knew this woman. 23 fucking years, and it comes to this. Yes, I know the way I broke things off with her may have put her in a poor mental state, but now a whole new can of worms have been opened up because either she had a complete mental breakdown and decided to self-delete herself, or she made an extremely risky and calculated move to cull favour back from the people who just weeks prior condemned her for betraying me. She cheated on me, and now she's the fucking victim? Sorry if this comes off as rantish, but I'm trying to wrap my brain around this. I want to be perfectly clear, I am not going to visit Sue. She waived her right to me caring about her well-being the day she left POS, my personal nickname for her lover. Put his dick inside her. This might come off as heartless, despite the cool, calm, collected way I've been throughout my ordeal. My whole ordeal. My feelings are very much raw, but I don't give a fork about this woman. Haven't for a very long time. I'm aware I'm going to be vilified by the number of folk here. I don't give a short. Think of me however you want. If you're in my shoes, you'd see her actions vastly different. Some of you folks are going to look up my post history and see the story of what I did to her. And you're going to draw the conclusion that her suicide attempt was my fault. That me tormenting her for all those months, fooling her into thinking I was cheating on her while she actively cheated on me, then destroying her socially and professionally as a result, was the catalyst for her meltdown. Maybe it was. Maybe I am a heartless sociopath, but as Afterfleck so famously said, you get what you fucking deserve. I gave this woman half of my life and did absolutely everything to be the best possible husband she could ever have. By her own admission, I had no bearing in her decision to step outside of our marriage. She did it for her. Her selfishness knows no bounds, and I am glad to be rid of her. If it makes me the bad guy, because I will not go see her and never plan on interacting with her again, so be it. I hold true to my damn convictions. She made the choice to betray me. She made the choice to put her needs above the needs of our marriage. Now it's my turn to choose me over everything else. She can rot in the darkest pit of hell for all I care. Let everyone else help her fix her. My obligation to ever care about her well-being ended the day we signed the separation agreement. I just needed to get this off my chest. If you're going to cast judgment on me for feeling how I feel, save it. Like I said above, after 23 years and 2 children, I never really knew this woman after all. I have no sympathy for her. I never will. Let her forking rot. And now we get the most epic TLDR of this whole series of stories. Fooled my STBXW into thinking I was cheating for 4 months while she was having a year-long affair with a younger man. Executed a plan to destroy her life during the process, culminating with ghosting her and serving her divorce papers as she slept over Xmas evening. Watched her life upended over the next 4 days while completely off the grid from her. The divorce hearing was last week, settled on full separation leading to uncontested divorce. Last night she tried to kill herself by overdosing on pills. Now everyone within her circle who ostracized her for cheating on me is flocking to her for support, and they're actually mad at me for not doing the same. Seriously, yeah, fuck my life. And one last quick update to end this weird story on. I've been informed by Sue's dad that she's been moved to the ICU from the ICU to the mental health wing. Doctors are still monitoring her mental state. She's conscious and cognitive again, but obviously lethargic. Her father told me, she asked, did I come to see her? And he said no, and she shut down after. He respectfully said any further news he'll share only if I inquire, because he understands the headspace I'm in. Also, I've scheduled counselling for 17. The first consultation is this coming Monday. Oh my god, that is literally 2 videos worth of stories. And I'm just dumbfounded. Like, 1, she cheated on OP in the first place. Why, after 23 years, would she start doing that? 2, OP just completely destroyed her, like, by faking a relationship. And even going the extra mile to actually doing photos in the same vein of the photos she took with POS. Yeah. And then she's like, oh, I'll take the easy way out by committing suicide. By pills. Like, that is not the easy way out. Oh. She is going to hell. For that. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to end this episode here with that. Just craziness. Oh my god. Links will be in the description to the main channel and also the second channel. And along with links to the playlist in the last episode, go check them out. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when the next video comes out. Ding a ding. I'm Mad Scientist. Mad Scientist out.